Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick, back again to chat about the upcoming Wave 12 and 13 content for X-Wing. Because over the last 24 hours, some very interesting things happened. It would appear some review copies of the various ships were sent out to a certain YouTuber known as Spiky Bits, and he unboxed and reviewed them. Only thing is, those have not been revealed yet, so it was kind of ended up being a spoiler that we did not expect. In response to that, or at least it would seem in response to that, FFG have released the reveal article for the Resistance Bomber. Now, I'm going to cover that in the next video, but for the time being, we have had the first 4 ships of the wave revealed, as in everything but the TIE Silencer, which means everything that was not in those original reveal articles we now have revealed, and that's what I'm going to go through right here. Now, first of all, the Assault Gunboat. We had everything revealed in that article, so there's no need to cover anything there, but going on to the Kima Gila fighter for the Scum faction, we have here everything that's been reviewed. Now, in the original reveal article, we did not have the higher pilot skill generic pilot revealed. And that's this guy right here, the Cartel Executioner. Now, sorry about the bad pictures here, by the way. I've just cropped these images out of what we have available to us. Good news is he has an EPT, and that was the biggest point I was worried about. Obviously, I've made this point before. If you have 2 generic pilots in your pack and they both don't have an EPT, we're just going to fly the cheapest one every time. That's pretty much how it goes. Comes at a cost at 24 points, as in 1 point below Dalen Oberos and 2 points above the Cartel Brute. That seems all fair and straightforward. Basically, if we want to do a 4-off build, we have to think about how to use 1 point across all those upgrades, and off the top of my head, I'm not sure what we'd do. We could look at Trick Shot and Salvaged Astromech, for example, or go for a 1 point APT like Crack Shot could be quite effective. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is going to be the sort of 4-off platform with the generics, or maybe we'd look at the Cartel Brute if we want to do that. But nevertheless, this guy seems to be sitting at a good price, and I'm very happy with that. Also in the pack, we had revealed the final upgrades that were not in the article. First of all, we have the Scramble Missiles. This is pretty much what we expected it would do, as in it gives ships jam tokens, but we weren't sure how cheap it would be, how easy it would be to hit ships, whether it would give splash damage, da-da-da-da-da. We now know that it is only a 2-point missile with 3 red dice, range 2 to 3. You discard the card to perform the attack with the target lock, but you do not spend the target lock. And if it hits, the defender and every ship at range 1 gets a jam token. So that feels really pushed to the point where we think about other things in the game that give splash damage or splash effects, and they're usually a lot more expensive. Now, I know this can't actually damage ships as well, but at 2 squad point cost, this feels really, really aggressively costed. I don't know how much jam tokens are going to affect the game, but I think it's worth keeping an eye on just simply because it does seem to be so cheap. Honestly, if I looked at those stats all together and didn't see the squad point cost, I would have assumed 3, not 2. And the other upgrade card we had revealed today was R5TK. And wow, yeah, you guys looking at this, if you're just thinking this is rubbish, I have no idea what to do with this, it's probably because it's the most bizarre card and it might actually just be rubbish. I mean, I reserve judgment, but okay, look, a 0-point Salvaged Astromech, you may acquire target locks on friendly ships, you can attack friendly ships. And ever since this morning when that was revealed, I've been scratching my head trying to think of a good use for it. Now, yes, in the pack you get Dead Man's Switch, I get it. You can load up Dead Man's Switch on, say, a Z95 Headhunter. You can charge the Headhunter at your opponent and then shoot the Headhunter. I just feel like that's a really super inefficient way of just using assault missiles, which is way cheaper and way more consistent. So I don't think that's probably the best way of doing this. I mean, I think about the combos this can go on. Obviously, any scum ship with a salvaged astromech, which is the Y-Wing, the Skirg Bomber, the Kima Gila, and the Jump... No, not the Jump Master, Nick. But it can go on those 3 other ships, and is there any other tangible benefits from shooting your own ships? That silence there was me thinking and not being able to think of a single thing. I did originally think, oh, Dengar. Yeah, you shoot Dengar, you get a free shot with Dengar, but Dengar specifically says he must shoot the ship who attacked him, so you can't do that. I just don't know. I mean, obviously, with Quick Draw, this would be amazing because you can shoot him and lose one of his shields. But no, Quick Draw is on the Imperial faction, not the Scum faction. Now, this can go on Rebel Captain Nim, obviously. It is a unique salvaged astromech. So, I guess you could combo Rebel Nim with Chewbacca and then shoot your own ships. But I still think it's a more inefficient way of doing something that should be relatively straightforward. If you really want to do that janky Chewbacca combo, kill your own Z95s to make him get free shots, you're better off just doing it with bombs. I think it's just going to be way more consistent. So yeah, I don't get it, is my answer to this. I think the design is pushed in the direction of getting us to fly it with Dead Man's Switch. I think it, yes, admittedly offers some relevancy to Dead Man's Switch, but come on. 14 points is the cheapest platform you can get Dead Man's Switch into the game. That's not worth losing a ship and getting splash damage. You can just take assault missile and guidance chips. I'm really scratching my head at this. I just don't understand. So guys, in the comment section, how do we use R5TK in a way that actually has some positive benefit in your game? I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Anyway, the last thing we have revealed for the Kimagilla fighter is the dial, and I can breathe a sigh of relief because the dial is not total jank. I was so worried about this. In the article, we saw that both the 1 and 2 hard turns were red. I thought, oh no, are we not even going to have 3 hard turns? We do have 3 hard turns. They are white. They're not green, but I think that's probably fair enough. And looking at the dial overall, this feels really strong. We have, yes, those 1 and 2 hard turns are red, but nothing else in the 1 and 2s are red. We're slightly favouring speed 2 over speed 1, where the banks and the straights are green there. The 1 straight and the 3 straight are both green as well. And we have the full gamut of 3-speed manoeuvres and a 4K. Nothing else special, no Talon rolls, no S-loops. Considering this ship is so into getting things into its arc, I think having anything a bit more special than the 4K may have just pushed it a bit too far. And the great thing about this dial is, I suspected the salvaged astromech would be strong on this, and I still do. Look, I know on the Y-Wing it changes the 3 reds to 3 greens, and that's amazing, but if we change the 3 whites to 3 greens on this ship, it means you can do a hard turn with red, and still hard turn the next turn and clear the stress, and that feels pretty big. That feels like this ship is now capable of chasing those really dodgy aces around the board and not having to slow down after doing that red turn and then doing a bank the next turn, meanwhile letting the ace get around. Nope, you can still hard turn into hard turn into hard turn, and that is significant. I think salvaged astromech is going to be solid on this ship. I don't think R5TK is going to be solid on this ship. You know what I think about R5TK? I think it's going to be like Genius. I think it's going to be completely janky and fun in casual builds, but completely irrelevant in any competitive play. But then in a couple of waves, FFG will bring out some kind of combo that makes it work. And for some reason, shooting your own ships will be this amazing thing. But for the time being, it just makes no sense. I mean, look, at the end of the day, that could be interesting design space going into future waves. For the time being, I don't just see it. But having said that, overall, the Kimagilla pack looks really good. This has pushed me over the line, seeing that dial, seeing that it is at least middle of the road competitive. It works well with its natural ability with the bullseye firing arc, and now I have everything revealed. I can go and pre-order one because I'm excited to fly it. Alright, now moving over to the Phantom 2. Again, we had everything revealed today as well. There wasn't a lot to reveal from this ship. In the article they released, they had all the pilots and they had all the upgrade cards, but we did not see that dial. And now we have that sitting right here in front of you, and it's actually better than I thought it would be. I thought it would not have the speedier maneuvers, but it has 3 hard turns, and admittedly they're red, that's not ideal, but it looks pretty comparable to a Y-Wing dial. In fact, it's arguably better than a Y-Wing dial because it has the greens at 2 instead of 1. I mean, I know obviously sometimes you do want the ones to be green, but having the 3-speed K-turn feels strong to me. It means it can do the slower maneuvers and hang around with its buddies. I feel like it's going to combo quite well with Inspiring Recruit and R2 Astromech. I know R2 Astromech isn't doing a lot to this dial, but giving it any hard green turns feels strong. And it means you can use, for example, AP5's ability over and over again and keep clearing those stress over and over again. Double stress does not matter to AP5 anymore. You can use Inspiring Recruit to clear it over and over again and get some real efficiency. I seriously think AP5 alongside some aces is actually going to be pretty legit. Whether he takes Inspiring Recruit or Courier Droid is really, that's the kind of thing I'm not so sure on. I'm thinking AP5 with Courier Droid alongside a PS8 Poe Dameron and Miranda could be a pretty potent build. And look, once again, it's the kind of list building space I'm not so big on, not being a Rebel player myself. So you guys in the comments, any suggestions to do with AP5 or indeed the rest of the Phantom 2s, let me know, because I really want to have a good chat about that kind of stuff. Alright, and that was everything that was revealed today in the spoilers, at least for these two ships. I will go through everything that was revealed also that was spoiled for the Resistance Bomber that was not in the reveal article, but I will do that in the reveal article video I do, which will come out right after this video. Alright guys, thanks for listening, like and subscribe, like our Facebook page, and I will catch you later.